স্যার
শুরু কর।
স্যার আমি স্ক্রিন শেয়ার করছি।
হ্যাঁ।
স্যার শুরু করছি।
হ্যাঁ।
So good morning everybody. So today by we I mean myself, Bharat Kumar Bhartia, Pratima Kundu, Rukshad Das and Shubhajit Das are here to present about the topic that we prepared, and that is impact of advertisement on consumers in FMCG sectors. So without any further ado, let's begin the presentation. Pratima, the screen is all yours.
Actually,
Sorry, Rupsha, the screen is all yours.
It's okay. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Today I am going to discuss about the first part of introduction, which is on advertising. So, what is advertising? Advertising is defined by the American Marketing Association as any paid form of non-personal presentation and promotion of ideas, goods, and services by an identified sponsor. Since advertising is a non-personal presentation, it is not directed toward any single individual, rather it is directed toward the community as a whole. The most basic role that advertisement play is they created demand for product and services and contribute to increase the sales turnover, hence resulting in increased profit margin. There are primarily three main objective of advertising, that is to inform, to persuade, and to remind. Now we discuss about these three objectives. So first one is to inform. To inform, create awareness of brands, products, services, and ideas. It announces new products and programs and can educate people about the attribute and benefit of new or established product. It is also known as informative advertising. So, an example of informative advertising is Sunfeast EP. It was launched in 2010. It was become a 1,000 crore brand. It has a 22% share of the instant noodles market in India. So when it launched, they start an advertising campaign in all over India as well as Kolkata near to Salt Lake. They give Sunfeast DP for free testing. Also, they distribute leaflet, vaporizer cap, wristband with the logo of Sunfeast DP. They claim that it's India's first non-sticky noodles, and also you don't need to add vegetable in this; it's already added. In fact, they distribute free sample of 5 rupee pack of Sunfeast EP at the Big Bazaar. So now come to the next one, which is to persuade. To persuade, try to convince customer that a company's service or products are the best, and it works to alert perception and enhance the image of company or product. Its goal is to influence consumer to take action and switch brands, try a new product, or remain loyal to connect brand. It is also known as persuasive advertising. So example of persuasive advertising, it's Dettol. They claim Dettol kill 99.9% germs. There are slogan is be 100% sure. One more that we all know about that. This is Ma Mane Dettol ka dhula. Indirectly, they wants to say that it's the best germ protection product compared to other brand products like Live Oil, Medimix, Savlon, etc. They also claim in their advertisement that it's better than any red color soap. Dettol is more reliable compared to others. So now come to the final object of advertising is to remind. Remind people about the need for a product or service or the feature and benefit it will provide when they purchase. Promptly, it is also known as reminder advertising. Reminder advertising might be used by a business that has already invested considerable resources in initial promoting their product or service and still wish to maintain their competitiveness. So example of reminder advertising, well, it's very well-known brand, which is Coca-Cola. In India, it's launched in 24th October 1993. After this, they start various type of advertising like newspaper, magazine, billboard, etc. One of the famous advertising which was launched in the year of 2000 with a very famous actor when his first movie launched in the year of 2000. He was the brand ambassador and at this time of Coca-Cola in India. Any guess who is he? Okay, no one. He is a Hrithik Roshan when its first movie launched in his movie as well as magazine, newspaper, billboards, retail shop all over has the advertisement of Coca-Cola with his special dance form. I have one poster of this time. If you want to see, then I can show you. Well, on our childhood comic books also have a advertisement of Coca-Cola like Marvels, and also our Bengali famous comic books like Nonte Fonte Batul the Great. They also have a advertisement in the last page. One more thing that I want to say in their new packaging, which is launched in 2019 in Christmas special bow pack, which is really a unique and creative idea by Coca-Cola. It's not launched in India, but it's launched in United States, UK, German, etc. It's really a unique idea. They always try by their advertising, product, packaging, always try to remind their consumer that we are still exist. You have to buy our product. The most suitable advertising promo option for one's business will depend on the target audience, and that is the most cost effective way to reach as many of them as possible, as many times as possible. The advertising media thus chosen should also reflect the right environment on the product or service. Supposedly, there are various type of advertising, but the ones that are majorly used are advertisement through newspaper, magazine, radio, television, directories, social media, billboards, direct mail, catalog, etc. So now I'm done. Rest of the part will be discussed by Pratima Kundu.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Pratima Kundu. I am going to discuss about FMCG products. FMCG stands for Fast Moving Consumer Goods. These products are sold quickly and at a relatively low cost. FMCG products, example, non-durable households, beverage, packaged foods, and counter over drugs and other consumables. Some characteristics of these kinds of goods are, from the consumer perspective, frequent purchases. Our daily life based on FMCG, our daily life almost cover with FMCG products. Non-durable households include cold drinks, include soft drinks, and packaged foods. These goods are purchased frequently by the average consumer. Low engagement. FMCG products basically fulfilling our needs of daily lifestyle. People do not think severally before making the purchase decision in FMCG products. Low prices. Prices of FMCG products are low. FMCG products are sold in a large quantities, so the substantial profit of these products are generated. Short shelf life. FMCG products have a short shelf life because these products have high consumer demand. Example, soft drinks and confections. And these products are also perishable in nature. Example, dairy products, meat and baked products, etc. Rapid consumption. FMCG products have a high consumer demand, and so these products are rapidly consumed by the consumer. Now come to the next point from the marketer perspective. High volume. FMCG product range is very high. Through this, they maintain the economies of scale. The product range of FMCG products is not consist of one or two products. It's consists of many products. Low contribution margins. As FMCG products consists of daily household products, so high involvement is not there. Contribution margins are low and cost minimizing. Extensive distribution. Distribution channels of base products are very huge. This process is cost effective too, as demand is high, so the production or the production scale of these products are very high. High inventory turnover. Products of FMCG sold quickly, so inventory get consumed or sold rapidly as demand is high. Competition of FMCG products are also high. Next part is discussed by next part will discuss by Orpon Sen. No,
So
Shubhajit Das.
So thank you, Ruksha and Pratima, for that lovely introduction. Now I will be going to discuss about the literature review part of a project. So before moving on with the literature review part, we have to understand what the literature review term actually means. So a literature review, or is also known as narrative review, it is a type of review article. A literature review is a scholarly paper that presents the current knowledge, including substantive findings, as well as theoretical and methodological contributions to a particular topic. Literature reviews are secondary sources and do not report new or original experimental work. Most often associated with academic-oriented literature, such reviews are found in academic journals and are not to be confused with book reviews, which may also appear in the same publication. For example, I have decided to do a project on impact of advertisements on consumers in the FMCG sector. Now, before starting on with the project, I have to understand that what the topic is. I have to understand what is the meaning of the topic. So, in order to understand the real meaning of the topic, I have to go back in time, I have to search history, and I have to find out what previous researchers and previous scholars have said upon this topic. What are their opinions? What are the statements that they made? So after having considered their statements and their opinions, I will get a brief understanding about the topic, and then only I can proceed with my project. So this is what literature review is. So now I'm going to read out some of the literature reviews that we have included in our project. So please do listen to them carefully. Nandagopal and Chinnayan in 2003 said that demand of brands of soft drinks was high among rural consumers. The source of brand awareness was word of mouth, followed by advertisement, family members, friends, and relatives. Later on, Nagaraja in 2004 pointed out the fact that, like advertisements, word of mouth also plays a very significant role in buying decisions. Suggestions of friends and neighbors is also a vital part, and the quality of the product and availability of the product are its primary determinants. Moving back in time, Brown in 1950 said that every purchase decision which is made by a consumer represents an ultimate decision. Later on, Agarwal in 2014 said that advertising makes a difference in people's mind through its style. So now, having considered all these literature reviews, their opinions and statements, we can derive some common factors from these literature reviews. So what are those common factors? One, word of mouth. Second, availability of the product. Third, brand awareness. Fourth, quality of the product. And fifth, ego. So before discussing on further, we have to understand what word of mouth is. What is word of mouth? Word of mouth is nothing but an unpaid form of promotion in which satisfied customers tell other people how much they like a business, a product, or a service. Word of mouth advertisement is important for any kind of business. Why? Because each happy customer can steer dozens of new ones your way, and it's one of the most credible forms of advertisement because a person puts their reputation on the line every time they make a recommendation, and that person has nothing to gain but just the little appreciation of those who are listening. For example, I go to the market and I get a moisturizer for myself, and after using it for a month I find my skin tone getting better, my skin quality getting better. So from this, what does this mean? It means that the product is able to satisfy needs and wants. The product is want satisfying, and hence I am very happy and satisfied with this product. So now what I do, I start recommending this product to my friends and family members and relatives and close ones. Why am I recommending these products? It's not because that the company is sponsoring me or the company is paying me to recommend their product. to others. It's just that their little appreciation will surely make my day a little bit happier. So this is what word of mouth is. Next comes availability of the product and quality of the product. This two terms, availability and quality, goes simultaneously. So these can be put under one heading. So what is quality and availability? Quality is the most important factor of any product because quality builds trust with customers, quality fuels word of mouth and social media recommendations, quality produces less customer complaints and returns, and fourth, quality care about aesthetics. Quality makes people care about aesthetics. What and by aesthetics I mean standard of living. People really start caring about their standard of living. People start buying superior goods instead of inferior ones. And the producer also has to make sure that his product is widely available in the market so that anyone can get hold of the products from anywhere. So this was all about availability and quality of the product. And next comes brand awareness. What is brand awareness? Brand awareness is the extent to which consumers are familiar with the qualities or image of a particular brand of goods or services. Brand awareness is the only reason why industrial giants like Coca-Cola and Heineken still run $1 million advertisements on traditional media. And by traditional media, I mean newspapers, newspaper advertisements, television, uh, radio, etc. What are these industrial giants doing? They're not doing these advertisements on this traditional media just to drive sales. Their primary motive is not to drive sales. What are they doing? They're doing it to keep their target customers aware of their brands, which eventually drives sales in the end. They are just through their advertisements, they are just remember keeping on hitting on the people that this is our brand, these are our products, so keep using them, and through which sales comes as a byproduct. So this was brand awareness, and the last point that we have, the last common factor that we can derive is ego. We can give it a better term, emotion over rational content. So what is emotion over rational content? Advertisements are geared towards both thinking and feeling nowadays. However, feeling seems to rank higher. Based on advertising campaign performances, it is noticed that 31% of the ads with emotional appeal succeeded versus the 16% success of advertisements that focused on rational content. Advertisements that triggered sentiments do so using different themes. Sorry. However, pride, love, achievement, man's empathy, friendships, etc. perform the best. So these were the common factors that we can derive from all the literature reviews that we have included in our project. Uh, Next slide, please. So now I will be going. So now I'm going to discuss about the objectives of our project. What are the objectives of our project? Uh, the first objective of our project is to find out which advertisement media do the people prefer to get any information about any FMCG brand. That is, we have, through this survey or through this research, we are finding out which advertisement media people are preferring the most. There are different kinds of advertising media. So from which media they are getting the maximum amount of information about any FMCG brand. This is our first objective. The second objective is to find out which aspect of advertisement campaign influence the potential customers the most. The third objective is to find out how far are people dependent on advertisement campaigns to select a FMCG brand. How far the advertisements are influencing people to select any FMCG brand. And the last objective is to find out the prime objective of the FMCG companies to promote FMCG brand. So these were our objectives of the project. Next, my friend Bharat will brief you about the research methodology of our project.
Good morning to everyone present. Now I'll continue from where my friends left off. That is, I will be presenting the research methodology. So what is research methodology? Research methodology is a specific procedures or techniques used to identify, select, process, and analyze information about a topic. In a research paper, the methodology section allows the reader to critically evaluate a study's validity and reliability. The methodology section answers two main questions: how was the data collected and how was it analyzed? So here in this slide we can see that the number of respondents were 100. The time taken to complete this research was 25 days and 100
Slowly.
data. So we have two types of data, primary data and secondary data. So what are these? So primary data is data that is collected by a researcher from first-hand sources using methods like surveys, interviews, or experiments. From this particular survey, primary data was collected randomly through a structured questionnaire. The questionnaire was a mix of close-ended questions. And here we can see that the collection method was through a questionnaire, and the questionnaire was distributed through the process of Google Forms, which is an online process. And the data that was collected through Google Forms was then analyzed by Microsoft Excel. Now we have the secondary data. What is secondary data? Secondary data is gathered from studies, surveys, or experiments that have been done by other people or for other research purposes. For this particular project, secondary data was collected from various websites and online magazines. So that's it for the theory part. Now we'll be seeing the practical implications of this research. The analysis and conclusion part. Okay. So the first insight that we gain from this is that advertisement of FMCG products are very often liked by people, and majority of people take it neutrally. In the graph, we see that 60% of our respondents said that they have a neutral attitude towards advertisements. 30% said that they like advertisements, and 8% said that they strongly like advertisements, and only 2% said that they do not like advertisements. So the advertisers who target the 60%, because they are the target of the advertisers, because they can either like the advertisements and also dislike the advertisements. Next. Sense to make purchase decision, and this is proved by the pie chart over here that we have. 68% of our respondents said that the advertisements influences their purchase decision, and only 32% said that it was not a factor in the decision purchase decision. Next. The third insight that we gain from this survey is that FMCG advertisements are broadcasted extensively for the audience. 54% of our respondents said that they see advertisements often. 26% said that they see advertisements very often, that is frequently, and 14% said that they rarely see advertisements. And here we have an anomaly of 6% of people who said that they don't see advertisements at all, which is highly unlikely, but still they said that. Next slide. The fourth insight that we gain from this survey is that the message of the advertisement is the influencing part to attract prospective customers towards it. See, 40% of the people say that the message of the ad is the most influential factor. Now, Cadbury Inc. has a very distinct message in the Indian market, that it has a slogan of "Kuch meeta ho jaye." So that's the message of the ad, that the whenever something good happens, kuch meeta ho jana chahiye, which is the catchphrase slogan, which is also encapsulates the message of the ad of their company. Now 36% of the people said that picturization and presentation were the second most influential factor. Now here that means that visual effects of the ad was the major factor. Now suppose we have a BMW, the BMW's ad, which has stunning graphics, is the deciding factor for them when they are going to buy something. Now BMW is bad, sorry, BMW is not a good example. And 24% said that the advertisement media was the major influential part of the decision making process. That is how they got the ad shown to them, that is either by print media, that is newspaper, timing of the ad. The timing of the ad that shows from the survey that the timing of the ad is irrelevant. Now the fifth, excuse me. Now the fifth point, or this insight that we gain from the survey, is that most consumers prefer branded products, but the availability of the products play the main role. 50% said that whichever is available is the option for them that they factor in the decision buying process. But 40%, 46% said that branded products is their only choice. And only 4% of people said that they only buy local products. Next, the last insight that we gained from the survey is the participants said that the curiosity of the about the product was the major purchase decision, was the most influential factor in the purchase decision process, because they were curious about the product. 38% said that the price of the product was more relevant to them in the decision buying process, and 14% said that they were majorly influenced by the endorsee. Suppose if Shah Rukh Khan had endorsed an ad, so the person would be more attuned to buying that particular product. And 6% said that they buy whatever is available in the market. So that's it for the analysis part and the conclusion part. Now my friend Arpan will be taking over.
So yeah, so now there are two important things that are left that we made an effort to do in our project. And the first one is that I'm going to present about is limitations that we faced while doing our project. So the first one is basically a very common problem that all of the groups faced, and that is the coronavirus. And due to that, the whole concept of market survey could not be conducted as expected because of the lockdown. Hence, there is a limitation regarding collection of primary data. Now, you might ask me later on that how did coronavirus really affected in collection of data? Like we are all digitally accessed. We all have devices that where we can collect expected or relevant data. But the thing is that we just had 100 respondents, and we expected around 200 to 300 respondents for this survey and to make it successful. But and we could have got to that number by going for face-to-face interviews, going to our peers or faculties, or going to our neighbors with physical forms and filled up the data. But we just had to rely on Google Forms and sharing of those Google Forms. Uh, and so the next limitation is the survey has taken responses of just 100 people into consideration. Hence, the sample collected in no way will represent the entire population. So the project is facing the limitation of generalization. The results that we got, the insights that we received that Bharat explained about, we cannot generalize people according to those. It just represents 100 people. Now, it might uh, give us a sense of what few people think about FMCG sector, maybe some of the FMCG brands, how they perceive that industry, but we cannot generalize it on the entire population or the entire population of even our district. It's just few people. So the next two are quite related, and that are and we've kind of faced it. I would put it intentionally, and it is that we didn't mention any particular FMCG product. We didn't mention any name of any particular FMCG brand, and that and that was the limitation because consumer preference of the entire FMCG sector in relation to the products that they serve cannot be determined. And we did this intentionally because we wanted to avoid that biasness. FMCG, as explained by Subhajit, if every FMCG product has some kind of emotional appeal to certain individual, and we wanted to avoid that. We all have a certain levels of patronage to a lot of products. Like I have a certain level of patronage to a product Maggie, and if I had mentioned about the noodles, then if I had filled up the form like that, then I might have had a certain uh, bit of biasness by filling up the forms, and it could have happened with a lot of others who filled up the forms. So the next two other limitations are time constraints and also a bit of reluctancy from the people. So how the time constraint was a limitation. We had a time, putting aside the coronavirus outbreak and the pandemic. But if things were normal, if things were absolutely fine now, then as I said, we could have gone for 200 to 300 respondents. And if we, but we didn't. And if we had more time, then we could have shared the links, shared the questionnaire with a whole lot of people. Let's say shared in Facebook or Instagram, and forced and like convince people to fill that up. And why I mentioned convince or kind of word force, because people were reluctant. We just got 100 respondents. Our class has 120 people. My contact, we I have 200 plus people. I of course I didn't send to 200 people, but at least I sent it to around 100 to 150 people, and I didn't get the 50% of the outcome. And we have 5 members in our group. We all made an effort to share the questionnaire, and we just got 100 respondents. I don't know why this reluctancy was there. And also there was a limit, and also the reluctancy was visible in one of our charts, uh, like where people were asked how often they view advertisement. 6 people opted for they don't see FMCG advertisement. I don't know why they opted for that. Like either they're blind or they are just living in other realm. So skipping that factor, so these were the limitations that we faced, and these were kind of a major limitation because we really wanted to have a high number of respondents to minimize this limitation of generalization. The final point that our group made an effort to first of all remember, not to overlook, is a point that was overlooked by each and
Uh,
every group till now.
Orpon, we have
Okay,
very few
yes,
time left, Orpon. We have very few time left, only 2 minutes. Okay.
okay. Then so you can send one more link
Yeah, I will send another link.
because
Another link. Because
okay,
you need
okay, then I
you will need more time, right? To complete it. Okay,
yes,
so I'm sending you another link. Okay, then joining that link.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
okay, sir.